In a previous video, we looked at using Excel to connect to data on CoinMarketCap. We connected to both live data and we also connected to historic data. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can calculate the 50-day moving average or the 100-day moving average of a particular coin based on data that you've taken from CoinMarketCap. And you'll be able to then generate charts such as this chart here. The stock data that I have pulled in is data from CoinMarketCap from the 19th of October 2016 to the 18th of October 2016 or 2017. And I've taken in the coins Dash and Ether. So if you want to go ahead, you can go ahead and connect as per the previous video and pull in the data for these. The next thing that you need to do is you need to have a date table. Now you can prepare a date table in Excel, or you can prepare a date table within your Power Query and within DAX. I have it prepared here in Excel. So I have my date, I've pulled in my day number, I've pulled in my month number. I've created the month name using write 00 and month, and then combining that with the text of the month name in the format month. And then I also have the year. So this table needs to be loaded into the model, and your stocks table needs to be loaded into the model. But we see from our solution we also have a slicer for coins. So I have a table here for coins which we're also going to load into our model. Before we get stuck into this video, please do like the video and subscribe to my channel. And below this video, you're going to find a link to this article. This article contains a more detailed description of how the earlier function, the DAX earlier function, actually works in this calculation. You'll also find in that post the learn and earn activity. That's right, folks, here at the Excel Club, we offer a learn and earn activity. When you take part in the learn and earn activity, you have a chance of earning rewards for just learning. So let's get stuck in now and learn how to create a moving day average of 50 or 100 or whatever day moving average that you want to create for your cryptocurrency dashboard. First step is to load the data into Power Pivot or Power BI. I'm going to be using Excel's Power Pivot for this example. And load each of the tables as they stand into the model, and you'll see why later on. And you can do the same with Power BI or Analysis Services or whichever you're using. Once the data is loaded in, we can move over to our stocks table and prepare the calculations. To calculate the 50 or 100-day moving average, we must first calculate the start date. Let's talk through the 50-day expression first. What we want DAX to do is look at the date column and count back 50 days, and then get the average of the close price for those 50 days. But we have two coins in this list, so we only want the average for the coin in that particular row. We can start by adding a new calculated column, a column that will provide a day number that we can then use as a base for our next calculation. What we want to achieve is the 19th of October being the earliest date in this data set. We want this to be day 1, and on the 20th for the coin Dash day 2, and so forth. And we can then count the rows where the date is less than the current date, but just for that coin. Let's start entering the expression. So equals count rows, and we want to filter the stocks table where the stocks date column is less than or equal to the current row date. Do you remember which function to use to reach to the outer row context? Because with DAX it's not like Excel, we can't just look back to the previous row. We did cover this function in the Fundamentals DAX course. Well, if we use the earlier function and we take the stocks date column, we now have a table that has all of the dates that are less than the current date. But we have a few different coins, so we also need to make sure we only count the date for that coin in this row. So we'll use the double ampersand for the AND condition, and this time we want to look at the stocks coin column and make sure it is equal to the earlier of the stocks coins. We can then rename this measure to day number. Now by doing this, we've created a column with the day number that we can now use to work with. So to calculate the 50-day average, we need to know what the start date will be for each row. And then this will be the basis for our next calculated column. What we need to do is return the date, which is 50 days earlier than the current row date. We want to start with equals calculate, and this time we will return values of the stock date. But we want to filter stock where the stock of the day number is earlier than the stock of the day number minus 50. Now we also want to ensure it's just for the coin on that row. So we're going to add the double ampersand, and we're going to take the stock table, the coin column is equal to earlier of the coin column. But when we try and enter this expression, we get a circular error. Now I purposely left this data set up in this way so I can show you how to overcome this error. And we mentioned it in a previous lesson. If you have a unique key on the table, this problem won't happen. Back in our data model, we should have added a unique key to the table, and once we have this, we no longer get a circular dependency. Now we can also rename this column to FDay 50. From here, we can now calculate our moving 50-day average. So I'm going to just copy in this formula and I'm going to read it back to you and we'll discuss it. So it's equals calculate, and it's the average of the stock's closing price. But we want to filter that where the date is greater than or equal to the earlier of FDay 50, and it's also less than or equal to the current stock date. And then we've used the double ampersand to make sure that the coin is also equal to the coin that's used in the current row context. So this is our moving 50-day average. And we can now just copy the expression from FDay 50 and add it to a new column and change the 50 to 100. And this will give us our start day for our 100-day average. And we can also copy our functions from moving 50-day average to the next column and change the 50s in here to also to 100. Now we can create our pivot chart. We can add the year and the date to the axis, and in our values we can drop in the close price, we can drop in the 50-day average, and we can also drop in the 100-day average. From the ribbons, we can then, in the Analyze ribbon, we can then add in a slicer for the coin. And see how easy it is then we can select between the slicers, or we can look at all of the data together.